Cheryl Swoopes is making waves again by not giving Caitlin Clark the credit she deserves in these recent games. This is big. We're heading to Indy for this one. Get ready. Let's do this. Before we start, I want to stress the importance of hitting that subscribe button. By subscribing, you'll stay in the loop with all the latest news about Caitlin Clark and the WNBA. And while you're at it, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and hit the bell icon so you never miss an upload. Let's dive in. I must be honest. The intensity of Cheryl Swoopes' animosity towards Caitlin Clark is baffling. She harbors a deep-seated grudge against her, as if Caitlin Clark wronged her significantly. However, I am still trying to imagine what that might be. There's a strong animosity there. Perhaps there's some history between them that we're unaware of, but it would have surfaced by now if that were the case. Cheryl Swoopes' outspoken negativity tarnishes her reputation and makes her appear unreasonable when discussing the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark. I need to express my genuine thoughts on this matter. It's becoming increasingly difficult for me to stay silent about the current situation. The way this individual is being portrayed in the media is quite concerning. It's disheartening to witness the lack of acknowledgement of Caitlin Clark's exceptional talent and contributions to the team. This disrespects Caitlin Clark as an outstanding player and diminishes the Indiana Fever as a whole. While I understand the importance of teamwork, it's essential to recognize and appreciate individual excellence, especially regarding Caitlin Clark and her significant impact on the team. Furthermore, while admirable, the excessive focus on Angel Reese's performance should maintain Caitlin's remarkable consistency and skill. Acknowledging the hard work and dedication Caitlin consistently demonstrates on the court is crucial. Every time Caitlin steps on the court, she defies expectations and sets new records with every game, my friend. It's truly unbelievable. Cheryl Swoopes, a WNBA Hall of Fame basketball player, should take notice of this remarkable young lady's achievements. I can already hear some of you saying, "What's got you so fired up?" Well, let's analyze this right now. There has been friction between Cheryl Swoopes and Caitlin Clark for some time now. Following the Duncan incident, I hoped that Cheryl Swoopes would extend an olive branch and say something positive. However, she once again brought up the issue in a negative manner. This situation is becoming increasingly concerning. During a recent podcast appearance, Cheryl discussed the Indiana Fever's much-needed break and their return with renewed energy. Strangely, she mentioned every player on the team except for Caitlin Clark. This omission is puzzling and raises questions about her motives. Let's listen to what she had to say and analyze the situation further.
I do want to say this because we talked about the Olympic break, who it could help, who it could hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen the complete opposite with two teams, the 7th and 8th place team. I think the Olympic break really helped Indiana.
Absolutely.
Like, they look like they've spent time, whether they took time off or not, but they worked on stuff. This Indiana team, I'm going to say shout out to Lexi Hull. I'm a big Lexi Hull fan. Watch her in AU. Lexi Hull shot the leather off the ball in their game against Seattle and just couldn't miss. Kelsey Mitchell is just stroking. She is just shooting the basketball. Aaliyah Boston, almost a triple-double. I know we're talking about teams where they can move and things changing, but if Indiana continues to play the way they're playing like this, they too are going to move up in the standings. Right?
They look like a different team. They came out firing. Firing. Yeah, that's a great point.
The break for sure helped them. And I feel like the break really hurt Chicago. I know they made a trade right before the Olympic break, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, and this is the first game. So they lost to Phoenix in Chicago. Then they go beat LA in LA, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then they lost to Phoenix at Phoenix.
Yeah.
They
did double.
Yeah, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So before I get into that, I am going to say this. Shout out to Angel Reese, even in a loss. Listen, 20 boards.
It's crazy.
20 boards.
I urge you to pay attention to the words she expressed. I sincerely hope that all of you carefully analyzed and comprehended everything this woman articulated in this podcast. She blatantly refused to acknowledge Caitlin Clark's talent and skills. When I heard that, I promptly went to the comments section because I knew the supporters of Caitlin Clark wouldn't tolerate such ignorance. Let's pull it up and address this issue right away. A user commented, "You forget Cheryl Swoopes is a generational level hater. I know people on Twitter tend to use hyperbole, but the hate in that woman's heart is real. I completely agree with this sentiment. It's genuine." Another user, Ken Swift, expressed embarrassment by saying, "This is embarrassing. If the WNBA didn't sponsor it, I wouldn't mind." It's worth noting that this podcast is indeed sponsored by the league itself, which adds weight to the argument that the league does not support Caitlin Clark. One person commented, "Sorry, brother, I'm not going to listen to anything that woman says or doesn't say. It's a waste of time. I'd rather watch paint dry." Another comment read, "Is it good for the WNBA's brand if a WNBA podcast ignores the face of the league because the host dislikes her for no apparent reason? Just curious." Cheryl Swoopes holds animosity towards Caitlin Clark for no apparent reason. There has been no adverse interaction between them, and Caitlin Clark has only shown respect towards Cheryl Swoopes. Despite this, Swoopes continues to disrespect Clark without cause. I wish the talented basketball player was still on the court. I do so, Caitlin Clark could demonstrate her skills, put on her metaphorical apron, gracefully enter the kitchen, expertly bake up a delicious humble pie, and elegantly serve it to her opponent alongside a freshly prepared salad. Let's now shift our focus to a different topic. Caitlin Clark's transition to the WNBA has been nothing short of extraordinary. From the first half of the season until now, she has consistently demonstrated exceptional skill and ability. Notably, her three-point shooting has been excellent, and she has also proven to be an outstanding facilitator, consistently setting up her teammates for scoring opportunities. Her ability to elevate the performance of her teammates and ensure they contribute significantly to the team's success has been outstanding. Given her remarkable performance, including her in the MVP conversation is only fair. While Ajar Wilson and Breanna Stewart have also showcased their exceptional skills throughout the season, Caitlin Clark has undeniably earned her place in the MVP discussion. Her impressive contributions and consistent performance validate her inclusion in the conversation alongside other top athletes in the league. I watched Elle Duncan's podcast recently, and Caitlin Clark deserves to be part of the MVP conversation. I even have some footage to back up my claim.
I have many points to get to. First and foremost, we can start calling Caitlin Clark Dawn, the way she's built for these dishes. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
She hit three triples. Okay, that's a bar. Hey, use that one on the 6P, all right? No attribution necessary. Okay, the thing about what Caitlin Clark's doing, and I know on the last podcast we said, oh, you know, what about the Rookie of the Year conversation?
Mm-hmm.
I'm done talking about the Rookie of the Year. She should also be in the MVP conversation. I know it's going to be Asia Wilson, Breanna Stewart. Obviously, it's a loaded class. It's a loaded crop of players. But I don't think you can make an argument against why she shouldn't be in that conversation. I'm not trying to go Dak 2.0 here like I did on First Take, but what she is doing with the team she is doing it on deserves more recognition. She set the all-time WNBA rookie assist record last game against the Seattle Storm team, who's top 4 in the WNBA standings. The Fever still have 12 games to play. So conceivably, she can put this in such a rear view that nobody will ever touch this record. So they have 12 games left, 7 of which are against teams with sub 500 records. So they can really distance themselves, the Fever, into climbing up, not just into the 6th spot or the 5th spot. I mean, it's not inconceivable to say they can be playing for a top 4 spot in the playoffs. The Liberty have already clinched. The Connecticut Sun and the Aces are absolute wagons, but they're playing both the Sun and the Aces 2 more times by the end of the season. Obviously, they would have to win those games in order to be put in the top half of the WNBA playoffs. And maybe I'm just drinking the juice, and I'm high on the supply that the Indiana Fever are providing. But there's nothing that they've done these 2 games outside of break against teams who are good that tells me otherwise. Like Caitlin Clark, to your point, she's the logo 3. She's the one who's double-digit scoring. The Fever shot 50% from distance last game. Caitlin Clark was 3 of 10. So it's the distribution.
Yeah,
like Lexi Hull, a career
Lexi
high.
Hull, yeah,
right.
nasty.
It's the distribution that she has. Kelsey Mitchell playing really well. So again, I think right now everybody needs to, if not already, get on this Indiana Fever playoff train.
It's clear to everyone that Caitlin Clark belongs in the MVP conversation. Her exceptional ability to distribute the ball, create opportunities for her teammates, and consistently put up points makes a strong case for her MVP candidacy. She demonstrates the skills and impact that warrant serious consideration for the MVP award night after night. The Indiana Fever has a strong chance of securing the final playoff spot. If they advance, I wouldn't be surprised to see them surpass the first round and reach the semifinals. It's exciting to support the Indiana Fever and see how far they can go in the playoffs. After carefully weighing all the factors I've presented, I am eager to engage in a discussion with you in the comments section. What are your thoughts on Caitlin Clark's potential candidacy for MVP? Do you agree with Cheryl Swoopes' critique, or do you believe it lacks merit? Please feel free to express your views below. Remember to demonstrate your support by liking, commenting, and subscribing to stay updated on more basketball-related content. Until we talk again, take good care of yourself.